All right, good morning, comrade subscribers. I'm still working on the Icarus. Bit stuck at the moment. So yes, it does look like there is an issue with the ROM, but when I replace it, I'm getting garbage on the screen. So there might be a RAM issue as well. Not entirely sure. I was able to dump the two ROMs. They look to be very similar to the standard ZX Spectrum, but I'm thinking now obviously there should be some difference, you know, taking into account the Cyrillic. But yeah, the U29, U30, I could definitely dump them both. They looked similar, so there might be an issue with the actual socket. Maybe the socket is not tight enough. Anyway, so I thought I got this arrived at the same time. It's a Master or a MacTep. And well, not much of a box, unfortunately. Ecran 256 by 192. Was it Toiki? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to give you a headache. Trying to read that. Personal microcomputer. Okay, I can read that much. So yeah, not much of a box, unfortunately. I thought this was another interesting little machine with an interesting block Britannia. But actually, it's not a block Britannia. It's called something else. So let's put that over there. So yeah, so this is the MacTep, otherwise known as the Master. Let's see, it's a 92 date, which is post-Soviet. You can say computer Master, serial number, yeah. So March 92. It's definitely been opened. I can see the security chewing gum has been removed from there at least. Interesting keyboard with numeric keypad, obviously. It's good in that it's got you know, basically all the Spectrum keywords. A lot of the keyboards don't. So obviously if you grew up on a Spectrum, then it's, you know, it's second nature to. So interesting. So I'll definitely be pulling this apart, giving it a wash. Keys could do with a wash. Interesting keyboard. The block Britannia is interesting as well. Well, actually, here's the ports. So we've got a reset button in English as well, which is interesting. Reset button, system bus here. We've got a port there and a port here, I guess. Here, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Okay, we've got a Sinclair joystick, plus 5 volts and magnetophone. So plus 5 volts and cassette. RGBS and sound. Okay, pain in the ass when they do that. So that'll be a 7-pin. And obviously there was an idea for a CCAM UHF out. So yeah, here's the block Britannia. Although this one's called an Stoinik Britannia, I guess, maybe. So Stoinik means something else. I don't know. I'm used to it saying block Britannia, so like power block or power brick. But yeah, obviously I'll look that up and that'll be in. Always read the video description, please, because I always put everything in there. Let's see. So I've got standard. I don't know if you can see it. 220 volts, 50 hertz, 8 volt amps. And yeah, no usable serviceable parts probably. You will die if you open this. And it's a 92. 6 volts, 0.4 amp out. Okay, 6 volts. So there's probably a regulator in there. And right, if we try and figure out how this is wired. So let's start with, okay, this bit. I did have it untangled. So basically what they've got here is a failure to communicate. So Guns N' Roses song. Oh, far out, man. Oh, finally. Okay. So power supply here, which of course we will pull apart. Power supply here, power output here, and then it goes on to the magnetophone. So read and write, I guess. I have no idea what this is. I don't know if it's wired into something or if it's just been pushed through so you can pull it out. I don't know. So, but yeah, we don't use these in Australia, I guess. Although no, actually I do actually. Hold that thought. I did actually. This is from the UK. So this cassette recorder actually does have a DIN input, although it's a single DIN. It's not a read-write DIN like these ones. Anyway, I guess on high-end equipment or something they've got DIN, but the Sony stuff I've got, we don't have these. So let's pull apart the machine because I want to give this a clean. And it's a rainy day, so it's going to take a while to dry. So let's pull this machine apart, or shall we? I don't have. I could try one of my cables to see what I get. So I don't have anything. Let's pull it apart. Yeah, all right. Let's pull it apart. I'll take a photo first for the thumbnail, and we'll pull it apart. Right. Fun part. For those long-term subscribers, you'll know pretty much the standard for this was basically, first part was having a quick look and then opening up the power supply, because that was always interesting to see what we were given, whether or not it's actually safe to plug this thing in. Some power supplies, if you look in my videos, everything's rattling around, which is fun. Okay. So we've got our standard flatheads. So this one is very, very much a much cheaper than the Icarus. Well, more cheaply made. Oh, I think the wife is off to the shops, get stuff for lunch. Her car is finally at the smash repairs. Got hail damage in November last year, and then a mini cyclone hit March. So it's now July and finally getting, of course, 2 lots of excess. $850 times 2, so $1,700 we've got to pay. Yeah, see ya. Okay, so I got it for 3 weeks, so we're down to 1 car. Okay. Those, there's still, how did I miss that one? One in the middle. Okay, is that going to come out? Am I even getting... Did I get that time? Yes, I did. Okay. Alright, keyboards are attached to the top. Alright. Oh, it's got a ULA. God damn it. Oh, okay, it's interesting CPU. Oh. Almost like an 8080A, but it's the 80A CPU, MME9106. Okay, that's just a... Oh, okay, that's interesting. I've not seen this type before. That's cool. It's always cool. Yeah, no, KR580VV558. Okay, I read it right this time. So that's the 8255 clone. And there's you've got your standard memory, 64K. Angstrem VLSI Design 1991. So there's your Angstrem ULA. I don't think I've got any that actually work. I do actually have spares from Ukraine. I do actually have new old stock of these. So basically, if this doesn't work, then it's a bit of a fucking write-off. Oh, sorry for my language there. And yeah, it's a ROM there, so 16K ROM. Okay, so pretty easy. So we've got all green LED there for power. Let's disassemble it all so I can give it a clean. Give it a clean, and I guess then we'll pull apart the power supply. It really wants 6 volts. Oh, does it want 6 volts? There's no regulator as such. Let's see, no, there's no regulator, so unless... okay. Does it really output 6 volts? Good question. Right, let's come off. One more screw. Okay, so oh wow, okay, so that's how the keys work. All right, fair enough. So I don't know if you can see. Whoops, sorry. But if I bring this over here a bit more, try and hold it. So the keys have got a little, you can see the 2 little leaves there that I guess make contact on the PCB there. Pretty simple. So yeah, fair enough. Okay, I will give that a blast. Give that a wash. I'll give this a wash. And there's a couple of screws here. Oops, 2 only. Okay. All right, so I'll give this a wash as well. So I'll just go and give those 2 a quick wash. Then we'll have a look at the power supply and maybe give this a bit of a blast as well. Just some dead insects. And yeah, let's go. Okie dokie. So yeah, I definitely want to give this a blast as well. Actually, just looking at it again, it's quite interesting. We've got decoupling capacitors on each of the RAM chips, but we've got these ones, and then we've switched to these ones. I guess whatever was available at the time. I think these ones are more valuable. They've got niobium or something maybe in them. I don't know. But yeah, so let's have a look at the ULA. There is one that I have that's like a pretty standard one that they created, Angstrem. It's a KI1515 is it? КА1515ХМ1. That's the one. I don't think I've had any of these work. So there's also, I guess, a sign of a cheap machine. You look at the Icar or the Icarus, it's all using discrete logic. It's in a well-built case. Okay, the keyboard is not the best, but if anything goes wrong with it, you know, you can fix it. Well, maybe not me. I don't know. Maybe I can stumble upon something, but well, maybe thanks to all the help you guys give me. But yeah, if there's something wrong here, because you know the ULA generates the video, it generates the RAM addressing, it generates, you know, the refresh and everything. If there's something wrong with the ULA, then unless you've got a replacement, which I actually do, I've got some somewhere, then yeah. Anyway, let's see. Let's go. I'll go give this a bit of a blast first to get all this dead insects off. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about the keys. Yeah, anyway, don't worry about that. I'll sort this out. Let's look at the power supply next. Power supply. This is always half the fun, actually. Usually, I haven't done one of these for a while, have I? Hasn't been open, as you can see. Well, unless it's been faked. So we've got our security chewing gum in there, snot, whatever. Bit of a, I don't know if that's the right cable for it. So reckons 6 volts, 0.4 amps. Let's give it a try. See, bear in mind that we're 240 volts here in Australia, not 220 volts. But yeah, I don't believe this anyway. I've seen this sort of stuff before. You know, if there's a regulator in here, then that could explain why there's no regulator. Well, that doesn't work, does it? No regulator in the machine itself. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, plug her in there. Now I've no idea. Okay, 2 quite thick cables. Turn DC on, power this on. So far so good. Let's stick. What should I get instead? I've had this for years, but I really need something else that's an extra pair of hands. Any recommendations? What I should be using? Like for soldering stuff, and really I need a bigger bench. I've had this bench for a while. It's perfect for the workshop, but I just don't think it's deep enough. That's part of the problem. Right. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just see, go back to continuity, I'll just see if there's anything attached to the shield. So that one? No, not. No, that was just me accidentally touching the shield still. Alright. Alright. Back to DC, turn her on. So I don't know what is 5 volts and what's not. Of course I could actually look at the machine, couldn't I? Oh, okay, we've got minus 5 volts there. Come on, make contact. Thought I had 5 volts there. Yeah, 5.6. All right, so it's not regulated. Yeah, well, there's not space in there for a regulator anyway. All right, so it looks like it's those 2 pins. Oh, which way around did I have it? It doesn't matter. I'll pull it apart. All right, so 5.6 volts. Well, they may be 5 volts if we take into account I'm running on 240. I don't know. Okay, is this screwdriver just too big, is it? Look, Britannia rules the way. Yeah. So yeah, second week of holidays, first week of school holidays here. People say, oh, where are you going? It's like, I'm not going anywhere. That's the point. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm tired of going anywhere, of going places. Which I know is like, sounds a bit snobby or whatever, but it's not like, you know, it's not like you travel business class and you all of this sort of stuff. It's, yeah, It's always the way with me. It's like you do a lot of traveling. I remember we used to travel to Europe a lot for training, but yeah, that stopped a long time ago. So I used to get on Qantas, used to get gold membership, which is whatever the it's not Star Alliance, whatever the One World is. So you could use the lounges, and you could also get priority boarding. But always found, so you do all this traveling, and you finally get to gold status towards the end of the year, and then the next year you go nowhere. And so you lose it again. Or you just do a couple of domestic trips, so it's not, you know, there's always good travel, especially traveling in Europe, stopping off in Singapore and being able to have a shower. That was always nice. All right. Da-da-da. Here we go. Oh, wow. We did actually squeeze in a regulator by the looks of it. Yeah. I think it's the regulator. Why are we getting 5.6 volts then? Good question. I thought so. So yeah, never trust what they tell you on this. Okay, so we've got going in there, and we've got 3 out there, so we've got, so we'll have our, I guess that's our 0 reference, and then we'll have our negative and our positive. Halfway rectifier, so I've only got 2 diodes. Well, hang on, that's a fuse. 1000 microfarad smoothing capacitor, I guess. I'm assuming this is the KREN5B. I think that's the 7805, isn't it? And we have another smaller, so you always need another, it's at 1 microfarad, so you always need something for the 7805, don't you? So 0 center tap goes to one of the diodes, and this tap goes to the other diode, and then this negative one, I assume, is that, what is that? Is that a transistor or something? Sorry, you probably wouldn't actually see what's up. So 2 diodes, okay. Fuse, I guess capacitor for the 7805, I don't know. But what is this? So it's a 4-pin. We've got 2 pins there. Is it like a... Let us... What's the easiest way of powering this? What I want to do is check what's coming out of there. What are we dropping it down to? It doesn't matter which way I put it in. So if I put it in like that, all right. If I suddenly go limp, that's back to front. So yeah, okay. Like, one of the things with my channel is I do all the stupid things so that you guys don't have to repeat them. That might be off the Icar. Okay. Let's bring that forward a bit. So I just want to put that up there. So what I want to do is I just want to measure what AC is coming out of there. Does that seem totally safe? Totally safe for you. Nothing shorted. So it's not. Yeah, it's a pretty boring looking transformer as well, isn't it? 12.83 volts. Yep, and then 25, 12, so 13 volts. Is that the center tap then? 13 volts. Just trying to get a good connection. 25 volts. Yep. So that's the center tap, maybe. No, that's not the center tap. No. Oh, you know what I mean. 13 volts difference there. 13 volts difference there. Okay, so that's the center tap. Okay. That's the center tap. And then that's one side and that's the other side, I guess. So yeah, difference between those two is what, 25, 26, and then difference between that's 13 and that's 13. All right, that's the center tap there. Whoops, switch it off, Brett. Switch it off, switch it off, switch it off. Right, so okay, so that makes a bit more sense. Okay, so we've got, let me unplug it. Okay, spending more time looking at the power supply than the actual computer. Life weird like that. So that's center tap, 13 volts, 13 volts. So we've got one side going in that way, we've got one side going in that way, which goes to each of the diodes. So it's like a half wave rectifier, is that right? Yeah, so rectify one way, rectify the other way. Don't. Yeah, anyway. And then the center tap goes to whatever the hell this thing is. So that's a fuse, isn't it? That's a fuse. Sorry. I'm pretty sure that's a fuse. Let's pull it apart, shall we? So I'm not going to use it. So let's check what's coming out of the... Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, I think that's enough. I've seen these before, but I just can't. I can't for the life of me remember what it actually is. Is it a? It doesn't have a part number on it. Let's pull it apart. All right. Fire is what I was thinking of. I think. Yeah. So that's the full wave, isn't it? Because we've got. So we've got one side coming into the diode here, which goes through there, and then we've got the other side coming into this diode here, which goes to the same place. So we've got dun dun dun. So yeah, we're going to have both. So it's a full wave. Yeah, all right. And then the center tap. All right, so center tap, nothing happens on here. Sorry, so center tap, nothing happens on the underside. It's just on the top side here. So center pin on the regulator is ground. Yeah, okay, so that's the input. Where are we smoothing? Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. We're smooth. Okay, yeah, right, smoothing here, 1000. So we've got positive going, negative going, whatever you want to call it. So full wave, we've got the smoothing capacitor here, 1000 microfarads to kind of smooth out, try and make it a bit more level. So it's about 13, well, what, 0.7 volt drop, so about 12 volts, I guess, 12 volts going into the regulator. So it's running a bit hot. Then that's the output. Yeah, okay, so this is the output of the regulator. going to one wire, and then we've got, yeah, in the middle here we've got ground, which goes off to the other wire, but also involving, okay, this 0.1 microfarad, which, okay, we need for the linear regulator. But yeah, so what the hell is this center? Yeah, I don't really understand what this thing is. We've got a fuse, I guess, which, okay, makes sense, but whatever that is, that's what I want to see. I know you guys probably can tell what it is already, but I don't have a clue. I'm not clever like that. It takes me a while to figure things out. I can figure things out. Give them time. I've actually done some pretty good network crisis solutions. It's always when you're under, you know, when you're the guy on call and everyone's waiting for you to figure out what the problem is, you know, no pressure. Did I just blow the fuse, did I? Thought I heard something. Just trying to get this off here. Oh, yeah, I think I might have blown the fuse. Surprise, surprise. So I'll try and get that off. Maybe I should just, sorry, big hand in the way. Get the fuse off first. Oh, okay, so it is, all right, I thought it had 4 legs. Right, okay, it was just, the fuse was confusing me. Sorry, let me get this fuse, which no longer works, out of the way. Okay. I'm making a mess. Making a mess. So is that just a, frig. Is that just a diode as well then? Just in a different package. I can't see any no identification on it. Just a red dot. Assume it's some sort of diode. Or some other exotic, was it thermistor, varistor? Or is it a resistor? Or is it just a resistor? Is it just a, no, it wouldn't be plastic then, would it? Let's stick it on the diode tester. I know, you came here to see about the spectrum, the MacTep, and all I'm talking about is the boring power supply. So I'll just put on diode test. It does look like a diode, I guess. 0.5 volts. That's the forward breakdown. And then nothing. So I guess it is a diode. All right. There we go. So, yep, pretty compact little power supply. 13 volts going into 4-way rectifier, I guess. So about 12 volts, then going into a regulator, and somehow giving 5.6 volts out. Does that make sense? All right, that's done. So now, basically, I need to make another power supply, don't I? So if it's 5 volts, yeah, here we go. Oh, what did it said 5 volts in, didn't it? Plus 5 volts. It says it on the back of the case. You've probably been yelling at the screen the whole time. Plus 5 volts. Twat. Okay. So that's done. Don't lose any of those. So what I want to do here is I want to give it a clean because it's a bit yuck. I like this CPU, even if it doesn't work. That's a neat CPU. But yeah, I'll say I've never had any luck as I touch it with my bare fingers with these. What are they again? KA1515. Yeah, these KA1515 ULAs have never worked. Anyway, very delicate. Let's pull this off. This here. So I'll give this a clean. And so it's a rainy day, so it's not going to dry very quickly. So that might be it for today. So I'll give this a bit of a clean. Yeah, so it's not going to dry very quickly today because there's no sun. So, but I will make up a cable, make up a power cable, and I could probably guess. Actually, it might be written on here 21, 20. No, random numbers. So I've got some 7-pin combined ones I can just try. But yeah, let's clean this. Give this all a good clean first. Actually, before I do that, I'll just show you. So I don't know if I got a good close-up of the keys. I think neat, simple little mechanism. Let's have a close-up. Okay, so I don't know if this is, but yeah, you can see there it's just those two, and then what else does it go down? Oh no, it's not even. So it's just the one on the left that makes contact. So pretty simple mechanism. So I'm hoping that it should work. It's just I want to give it a bit of a clean. I just hope it doesn't ruin the labels. But yeah. Okay. Hopefully that was of some interest. So I'll sort this out and then I'll go back to the Icarus. Before I go, I just thought I'd quickly make up, since I've kind of ruined the power supply, I will just quickly make up another USB cable. So I'll reuse the existing mess. Actually, I need to pull this apart to find out what the hell this is in there for. But so I'll reuse the mess. So we can, again, we can see from here that center pin should be ground. So this outside one is ground, and this will be 5 volts there. So on the USB, pin 1 is 5 volts and pin 4 is ground. So I'll just snip it off. Yeah, just snip it off. Got to remember so this one on the right, quite thick actually, quite thick wires. It's going to be interesting squeezing this in, won't it? All right, let's try anyway. So still recording. Sorry, it's low power, low power notification on the phone. Oh, it's quite thick insulation, really, not really thick wiring. All right, so if I'll make this up, and yeah, see how we go. All right, let's see how we go. It's pretty thick wire, but we'll give it a try. Will it actually cover it, or is it too thick? I got it around the wrong way. is pretty thick wire. Squeeze it on. I think I got it on the right way. Or is it back to front? No, I think that was the right way, wasn't it? Was this the right way? Oh, maybe that's the right way. I can never remember. That seems... well, anyway, maybe let's see if we can get it in here. Force it in. Okay. And this on top, which is a bit, don't want to slice through the insulation. It doesn't matter if we do the, there we go, I think that's, there, how's that? Forced it in. Okay, and then I've put this on already, some, I think it's 8mm, just for that. And I'll put a last one over the top. Ready off the last bit here, as I've done many times before. That's kind of where we want it to go to. So I'll heat it up and we'll be done. Ow, ow, ow. Plug it in. All the hot, shape the glue whilst it's still hot. And there we go. There's our little USB to DIN. So yeah. All right, that's it for this one. Let's go back to the Icarus.